Okay, so today we have a Spyderco Tasman Salt, and the model number on that is C106PBK. Comes wrapped up pretty well. Inside, the knife is in a little bubble wrap pouch, and then there is a little foam pad on the bottom. There's the knife. So we'll go ahead and run over some specs. When this knife is closed, it's 4 inches from side to side there. Open, it is 6 13/16 of an inch. The blade length from the edge of the handle all the way out to the tip is 2 15/16, so 16 short of 3 inches. And then the actual cutting edge is 2.5 inches. The blade thickness on this is 3 30-seconds. And then the weight on this model is only 2 ounces. Very light knife. It's pretty nice, you don't even know it's in your pocket. And like they've been using forever, the handle is made out of FRN, which is the fiberglass reinforced nylon. And like I said, made out of H1, and if I can get it to focus, they have the H1 etched into the blade on the top, and then as standard they have it stamped with Spyderco on one side, Seki City on the other, and Japan. So overall, it's a pretty nice knife. I'm pretty impressed with it so far. To compare it to an older Spyderco, this is an Endura. Again, this is an older model, so a little different than what you'd get nowadays. And on these old ones, you had the nylon clip on the back, which actually, I thought it might be a problem, but it's held up really well. It's not as tight as the metal clip on this, made out of spring steel. In a way, it's almost a little too tight for what I'm used to, but I think for retention, it's probably better. That Endura that I showed you, the blade is actually close to 4 inches on it, and where I'm living right now, 3.5 is the legal limit, so this one fits the requirements. And I figured if I was going to go a shorter blade, I wanted something a little more aggressive, so if I ever had to use this, I could still do a lot of damage. You're not going to be able to stab with this knife so much, but if you hit vital areas such as the neck, inside of the arms, legs, across the stomach, and the groin, it's going to be very effective. Give you a close-up. The handle material is kind of the same classic design, the square with the little dot in the center. The old style was just a square, a lot less aggressive. The new style, you can see it has these little pointy edges. The little circle is a lot deeper in there. The rivets are just basically round on one side. On the back side, you have a Torx screw head, both for the blade, so you can adjust the tension on the blade and take the blade off if it gets dirty, and then also one there for the release or the lock. The old style, you basically had it riveted on both sides, and there was no way to adjust that or take it apart for cleaning, which was, in my opinion, a fairly big negative. So I'm glad that they did that on this knife. I guess they weren't doing that when they first released these, so I guess they finally decided that that was an important thing as well. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. I've done some cutting with it and carried it for a couple days now. I'll do another video to give my impressions after carrying it for a few months. The clip design is kind of nice because you can switch it from one side to the other. It's not like the newer Enduras or Delicas that you can put it forward, back on both sides. You can only flip it one side to the other. Typically I carry the knives point up anyways, so that's not a big problem to me. I do have 2 complaints on this knife. So if there's any reps or anybody working for Spyderco, you can pass this on. One is the little cutout on the release or the lock, and looks kind of neat, but in my opinion it's not super functional. I know guys are going to say, well, that's so you can find it easy. Well, that's true, but you have to get the tip of your thumb in there to get it pushed down all the way, because it limits the distance you can push down. So if you're using the pad of your thumb like this, it's a little bit more difficult to do that. On the older styles, like my Endura, it was straight all the way across, and then I filed these notches in there just to give you a locator, so that if you're, using this knife in the dark, you can rub and feel where it is. And then again, with that, it gives you a full piece of metal that you can get pushed down easy, even with the back of your thumb. You can do that, which can be nice at times. With this one, you can do it, but it's a little harder because you don't have as much meat on there. The other complaint on this is that Spyderco, I don't know if they're all this way or if it's just my model, but the cutout for opening with your thumb is really sharp. They didn't bother deburring it. Both sides are like that. And then also where the serrations are, this side is really sharp too. I'll show you how sharp this is. I'll shave some of my fingernail off with it. Probably saw that pop off. See that? So right there you can see pretty sharp enough that I can shave fingernail off with it. Those are my only two complaints. The blade itself seems to be really nice. The amount of cutting I've done, it's still razor sharp, so the edge holding capabilities of the H1 seems to be pretty good. From what I hear, and I don't know if this is substantiated by anybody, but the H1 actually work hardens, so when you're sharpening it, it actually gets harder. And people say that it's a good thing because your edge will last longer. On the other hand, I could see that as being a negative if that's actually true, because it's going to make it more difficult to sharpen your knife. So if you're looking for an EDC knife, one that you could use on the ocean, because I guess the H1 has a lower carbon content. They actually use nitrogen in the processing of the metal, so you're not going to have the carbon to rust the blade. And I think that the blade with the curve as it is, the hawkbill curve, it really, from the cutting I've done, it really draws the material that you're cutting into the blade versus a standard blade that's curved outwards. Tends to want to push it away from the blade, and that actually makes it cut really well. And it's not such a tight curve that it's reducing the capabilities for everyday uses, so I think it'll actually be a very good blade. But like I said, I will use it for a few months and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think. But so far, overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. So if you guys have been wanting one of these, I'd say give it a shot. I picked this one up for $51, and I got it on eBay, and it was $51 with free shipping, which is a pretty stinking good price in my opinion. And I think for the value, it's a good knife. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and like I said, I'll try to get back with you in a few months with an actual review after using it for a while. You guys take care. Bye.